Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're diving into something that's, well, everywhere, isn't it? AI, specifically how it's hitting Hollywood. It's reshaping creative work so fast. It's causing a lot of excitement, but also, let's be honest, some real anxiety. Which is exactly why we're zeroing in on Netflix today. They've just put out these surprisingly clear rules about using generative AI, and these aren't gentle hints. Nope. They're actual expectations for anyone making content for them. It's like a map for this new territory. So, our mission, to unpack these rules, figure out what they actually mean day to day for filmmakers, and basically distill what you need to know. Whether you make films, want to make films, just watch the industry, or, you're just curious about tech and art colliding. We'll cut the jargon, get to the point. And just so you know, we're drawing heavily from Y.M.CINEMA magazine's excellent breakdown of these new Netflix rules. Okay, so let's step back a bit. What's the big picture here? What's the sort of core idea Netflix wants creators to get about using AI?
Yeah, it's really interesting how they frame it. Essentially, Netflix sees AI as this powerful co-pilot, a thinking partner. So you can totally use generative AI for brainstorming, right? For getting ideas flowing, mocking up concepts, putting together mood boards. It's brilliant for that early stuff. Exploring. But, and this is the really key part, once that AI-generated stuff is actually meant to be in the final film, what the audience sees and hears, that's when Netflix pumps the brakes. They demand much more care and often, written approval.
Okay. So brainstorming, got to get final cut. Check first.
Pretty much. And the expectation is crystal clear. Production partners have to tell their Netflix contact about any planned use of Gen AI. It's about being upfront, transparent, especially because these tools are changing so fast and, well, they all come with different risks.
That makes sense. Transparency. But, these tools evolve like crazy, sometimes weekly. Is it really feasible for everyone to always know if a tool is secretly training on their data? Couldn't that, stifle experimentation? Especially for smaller outfits just trying things out?
That's a really fair point. And Netflix is basically putting the responsibility on the production partners to be careful. To do their homework, they get that things move fast, but their top priority, protecting the IP, the talent, and just the basic integrity of what ends up on screen. So it might feel like an extra step, maybe even a hurdle, but it's meant as a safety net. And that need for written approval, it becomes totally non-negotiable in certain key situations, like anything AI made that shows up in the final deliverables, on screen, in the soundtrack, anything. Also, if it involves a real person's likeness or personal data or uses someone else's intellectual property, their IP, that's when the big red flags go up.
Got it.
Which is different from those sort of low-risk brainstorming uses. Those usually don't need a full legal review if you're sticking to the main principles, which I guess we should talk about now.
Yeah, definitely. So beyond just ask before you put in the final cut, Netflix laid out 5 core principles, really simple language, kind of their rules of the road, the guiding philosophy. What are they?
Right. These 5 are like the foundation, the ethical bedrock for using AI responsibly. First one, do not copy protected material. Seems obvious, right? But it's tricky with AI.
How so?
Well, AI learns from vast amounts of data. It might unintentionally mimic a style or a character trait or something else that's copyrighted without you even realizing it. So this rule means AI work gets the same scrutiny as human work. No free passes just because a machine did it.
Yeah.
You still got to check the originality, the rights.
Okay, so vigilance is key, even against accidental copying. What's number 2?
Number 2 is keep input safe. This is huge. Use AI tools that promise not to store your stuff, reuse it, or train their models on your production data. They really push for using secure enterprise-level tools whenever you can. The ones built for businesses with strong security and data contracts.
Right, not just the free public ones where your script might suddenly become part of its brain.
Exactly. Imagine your top-secret character designs ending up in someone else's AI generation. Nightmare scenario. This principle is all about confidentiality. Protecting your creative assets.
Makes sense. Principle 3.
Treat AI outputs as temporary. Think of AI stuff as like a first draft, a sketch. It's not the finished article. It should not be in the final film or soundtrack unless it's been meticulously reviewed and legally cleared. It just reinforces that AI is for exploring ideas, not an automatic final product button.
Okay, temporary drafts. Got it. What's 4th?
4th is super critical. Respect labor and talent. Netflix is very clear. AI cannot be used to replace union jobs, period. And you can't use it to generate new performances from actors, like making them say or do something they didn't actually film without their explicit documented consent.
So it's protecting jobs and performance integrity.
Precisely. It's saying that human creativity, that spark, that performance, it's irreplaceable. They're drawing a line in the sand there, protecting the core value of creative work and the people who do it.
And the last principle.
Finally, number 5. Care with Final Cut versus temporary media. This loops back a bit, reinforcing that distinction. If any AI generative element makes it onto the screen or into the soundtrack, even tiny stuff like text on a sign in the background, or a document someone reads, or a subtle sound effect you need to flag it early, get legal guidance. If it's something important to the story or really prominent, then you need way more care, probably specific rights clearances, the core idea. Audiences trust what they see and hear. Gene AI, used carelessly, could blur that line, maybe even mislead people without meaning to.
Okay, those 5 principles paint a clear picture of the philosophy. Respect IP, keep data safe, treat it as temporary, respect humans, and be extra careful with the final product.
Yeah.
But for filmmakers in the thick of it, the burning question is often, okay, when do I absolutely have to stop and get formal permission? Netflix outlines these showstoppers too, right? The absolute must-get approval moments.
Absolutely. These are the bright red lines, the non-negotiables. There are 4 main categories they spell out. First is data use. Big one. Never, ever feed your own confidential stuff, scripts, designs, production notes, personal info into an AI tool without getting the okay first. And maybe even more fundamentally, do not train any AI model on material you don't own or on another artist's work. That's a huge no-no.
So filmmakers need to check the fine print on every tool.
They absolutely do. Review the terms and conditions, the T&Cs of any AI tool, any plugin, any workflow, especially if it's not one of those secure enterprise tools. You have to make sure the license says they won't train their AI on your inputs or outputs, because if they do, your unique creative work could basically become public property for their AI. That's a massive risk to your IP and confidentiality.
Wow, okay, so check the T&Cs religiously.
Right.
What's this second showstopper category?
Creative output. This is about the core story stuff. You can't just generate, say, your main character or a really signature visual using AI without getting prior approval. It links back to that don't copy principle. But the stakes are higher here. If your AI-generated hero looks too much like someone else's, that's an immediate red flag. Needs sign-off.
And prompts.
Right. Avoid prompts that directly reference real famous people or specific copyrighted things. That just screams legal and ethical trouble. Get clearance first.
Okay. Data use, creative output. What's next?
Talent and performance. This is obviously super sensitive territory, making digital copies of actors or significantly changing their performance. That requires documented consent, full stop, and legal review. If you're making a digital voice or a likeness that people would recognize, you need that explicit written permission.
Well, are there any exceptions there?
Well, maybe some small ones, like additional consent might not be needed if the change is strictly within the approved script, or it's just for safety, like digitally removing a wire, or if the actor is totally unrecognizable afterwards. But any change to voice or visuals that could alter the meaning of a scene or performance, handle with extreme care. Probably needs review. Think about tweaking someone's expression that could change everything.
Yeah, that's a fine line. And the 4th category?
The 4th is ethics and representation. Basically, don't mislead people. Don't blur the lines between fiction and reality in a way that could make audiences think something fake actually happened. It's about maintaining trust. And it loops back again to respecting union roles. Don't use AI to sneak around labor agreements.
Okay, and you mentioned security before.
Yeah, just a hammer at home. Netflix prefers you use their approved tools or secure enterprise ones, but ultimately you are responsible for checking those licenses. Make sure they protect confidentiality, make sure they forbid training on your inputs, scripts, stills, talent info, keep it safe. When in doubt, ask your Netflix contact, always. Document everything.
It definitely sounds like a strict framework, maybe a bit daunting for some teams. Are there common mistakes or misunderstandings these rules seem designed to prevent?
I think the biggest one is the idea that AI is some kind of magic wand that bypasses all the usual legal and ethical stuff. You know, oh, the AI made it, so it must be original. Or the AI handles the rights. It's just flat out wrong. These rules make it clear. The human creator, the production team, you're still responsible for what the AI spits out, no shortcuts.
That's a really crucial point. AI is a tool, not a liability shield. Okay, let's get practical. Down to brass tacks. The source you mentioned had a kind of fast checklist. How would our filmmaker, let's call her Sarah, use these rules day to day?
Yeah, that checklist is super useful, helps navigate the common stuff. So in pre-production, Sarah's using AI to brainstorm, making mood boards, pulling references. That's generally fine, low risk, as long as she's following those 5 main principles we talked about.
Right.
Making rough lookbooks, visual comps. Also, okay, but yes, remember, these are temporary, drafts only, not for the final product.
Makes sense. What about once cameras are rolling or in post?
Okay, on set and in post, it gets trickier. Say Sarah uses AI to make some background signs or props. She needs to use her judgment. Is that sign really important to the story? Is that prop super visible or unique? If yes, she needs to flag it. Escalate it for review.
But what if it's something bigger?
Right. If it's a final character design, a key visual element, or anything involving replicating an actor, escalate immediately. Expect to need written approval. That's non-negotiable.
And the data stuff.
Huge red line. Training an AI on data you don't own. Using your secret production materials as input. Don't even think about it without getting clearance first. Seriously, just don't. It's asking for trouble.
Okay, so the checklist helps decide when to escalate. What's the most crucial action for Sarah throughout all this?
Documentation. Absolutely critical. Keep a detailed log. Everything. Which AI tools did you use? What prompts did you type in? What did the AI generate? And crucially, who reviewed it? Who approved it? When? This logbook, this paper trail, it's her proof. Proof of due diligence, proof of compliance. It protects her, protects the production, protects everyone.
So wrapping it up, the bottom line seems to be that Netflix likes AI for brainstorming, for rough drafts, for being that thinking partner.
Yeah.
But anything that actually makes it into the final film, the final sound mix, that needs careful human oversight and proper legal clearance. They're drawing a really clear line.
Exactly that. And for you, the listener, following these kinds of guidelines isn't just about ticking Netflix's boxes. It's fundamental protection for your work. It means you respect your collaborators, your talent, and it builds that essential trust with your audience. They need to trust what they're seeing. So documenting everything, talking to your Netflix contact early, and often those are your best moves in this pretty exciting but definitely complex new landscape.
Absolutely. And as we finish this deep dive, it really does leave you thinking, doesn't it? Beyond just these rules, where would you draw the line? Between AI helping out behind the scenes and AI content actually appearing on screen in a big movie or show. And do you think rules like this are mostly about protecting artists, or could they end up slowing down innovation? What's your personal red line when it comes to generative AI in the movies and shows you watch? Lots to think about. Until the next deep dive.